Hey, Wolf Pack.
And yes, we are not the Wolf Pack, but we might as well be because Cyril was actually here with us. Sorry, I spoiled it already. But anyways, yes, we got a lot of fun voice actors. I'm back tonight. My voice is a little sore, but yeah. Got some tea here to compensate for that. Yeah, last week I wasn't here. I was doing living Christmas tree stuff, which is a thing for my church I do audio for. But Yes, tonight we will be getting back to reading. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the Cole.
The kid.
Hello,
Howdy.
Cole.
That's a fun conversation to come in on.
So without knowing what the heck they were talking about, we'll get right into introductions here. So we have two of my lovely co-hosts, Crazy Matt Captain and Orange Shirt Guy.
I cleaned the bathroom today. It was terrible.
Was it crappy?
Anyways, an Orange Shirt Guy.
I used the bathroom today.
Number one or number two?
Oh my God! No, we don't need to get into this.
Well, it was two different visits, but
So anyways, next up is our wonderful fanfic editor. We have Double R Forest.
It seems that it's Dead Week in more ways than one.
Okay. So yes. So next up, our person who provided our intro music for this week and probably intro music for the next few weeks. We have Cyril the Wolf.
Oh, I did what now?
I said you provided the opening music for this week and probably the next few weeks.
What song did you put on?
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't.
Mega Man 04 Falling Down.
Oh God, that's a good way to start things. That's so epic. All right. Well, then I'm glad I was able to assist with that. And hello. Hello.
So,
Chill the wolf, everybody.
yeah. So, and
I don't have
as
a
you
goof.
just heard, we have our wonderful voice acting married duo back of Zeta and Rosie.
Are
Hi.
Just Monica. Just Monica. Just Monica.
So just curious. I don't remember.
Someone's
Have you guys even been on stream since the wedding?
No, I
No.
don't think they have.
well, wonderful. Welcome back.
So welcome back from your long hiatus. We love to have you back.
Honeymoon.
Very long, honey.
Yes.
Not long
Oh.
enough.
Oh.
Yeah. Alrighty, and next we have Marzi.
Hi. I'm here.
Yes, she is.
Yes, you are.
And last but not least, dying, we have Sora. Who's probably still...
Still dying.
Yep.
Are you here to talk about your Pinkie Pie addiction?
I don't know what like caught wind of me to just start dying out of nowhere, but I think it was something somebody said. I don't know. I think I read it like a funny text, and like all of a sudden I can feel like my asthma flaring up and like wanting me to die. So
Oh God. Well, please don't actually die.
I'm
I
trying
don't
not
need
to.
to fill. I don't need to fill out a death report for stream.
Because if you die, Roxas dies.
No, that's not how that works. He lives on. He just doesn't have a heart.
Okay, fine. Oh,
Did he need a heart, though?
And
that's why I
also
feel
for the
empty
people
inside.
on stream, yes, tonight I am slowly getting things filtered in to the thing header. The new icons that Sora made.
Ooh.
Oh, you're using them?
I've got one up. I'm adding more.
Oh right, I was a part of this transaction.
I thought you would never use them.
I'm
I'm
trying to get them put in.
yeah, I'm seeing mostly like the ones that a commander made.
Yeah, you're gonna see most of those. I'm slowly getting things filtered in, as I said.
Dang it! Is it the Brony Show or the just Brony Show?
It's the
The Brony Show.
The Brony Show. We're not just some Brony Show off a stream, man. We're the Brony Show. We're the real shit.
Oh, okay.
Real deal.
Get a
Yeehaw!
pill, friend.
Oh God, Zeta's
What's
like
the joke,
falling
though?
off the edge of the screen now.
And
oh wait,
now
I
it's
can just
like,
I can just replace the other Zeta. We don't need 2 Zetas on screen.
I'm only seeing 5 of these here.
But two
Well,
Zetas
yes,
don't-
because I am currently getting them all oriented on screen
Just
on my.
wait, because there is a
And I've-
lag there.
Also,
And I've never had my OC featured on these streams at all.
no, that will hopefully change today.
Oh, that would be
And oh my god, I should change this. I'm gonna put this on stream just because it looks hilarious.
Brought to you by IBM.
CMC may or may not be sniffing Zeta's butt.
What?
Okay.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Wait, I blacked out. What just happened?
Nothing.
Sniffing Zeta's butt.
Is Zeta okay?
I mean,
Everything is perfectly normal.
to be honest with
Did you slap him in the pee-pee? Don't slap him in the pee-pee. That's bad.
Some people like getting slapped in the pee-pee, though.
Others prefer for the other things themselves.
Dude.
Winchester, please don't die. We love
Family
you.
show.
We love you, Winchester. Don't die.
No, you don't. Don't lie like that.
No, we do love you.
Winchester, we love you.
No, you don't. Don't lie to me.
I would.
Winchester, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't be here.
Okay, everybody, 1, 2, 3. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
Because we're all terrible people?
I mean, you're not wrong.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Oh God. So double R's icon is like 3 times bigger than the other ones and just like took up the whole screen.
Oh, I'm
immediately.
sorry. I was trying to like fit everybody to a normal scale and it just wasn't working. And like looking at the stream now, it looks like CMC is about to like eat Zeta's butt hole.
What? Okay.
Where have you been?
Shit, should have brought popcorn.
Let me just replace that really quick.
Please do.
I don't see anything wrong with this.
Like, it's just. The president in the chat.
Oh God.
It's like when Bay looking like a snack.
There. This looks a bit better. Oh, by the way, Sora, I don't think you ever sent me Rosie's thumbnail.
I haven't gotten to hers yet because her tail is making me angry.
Well, she should.
I'm sorry,
stop
Rosie,
chasing it.
I can't help it. She got that ass. No, I'm kidding.
Also, have you gotten
Mary,
cereals
you
done
moron.
But no, like honestly, her tail is like it's still fluffy and it's like so much, Rosie.
TMI, man.
Just gotta draw that floof.
I know.
Hey
Make that
Sora,
floof
just
your
really quick, did you get
babe.
cereals done yet?
Yeah, cereals is done. I think I sent it to you.
I'm not seeing it.
Oh, give me just one moment here.
I got it first.
I was gonna say because I'll replace the other one, and then everybody up there will be Sora's drawings, not whoever the other person was. I can't remember that did them for EOH.
Wow,
There you go. I just sent it to you.
that's rough.
Yeah. Oh wait, I still have to replace mine, which was done by Commander.
Why can't we be friends? We just
God
lost
dang it,
Rosie and
Cyril.
Zeta.
Oh yeah, their laptop crashed. They said they'll be back.
Oh, my bad. Wait. Oh yeah, I didn't even like. I should read the chat. That would
I,
help. wouldn't it?
I just realized I even have one for cracking laser.
Why can't we be friends?
You got a friend in me.
No.
Doo-doo.
Cyril too.
No.
No.
Pretty lady gonna take a bite. Nope.
Thanks for being a
Oh God, Cyril takes up the whole screen too.
Yeah, that's right. You invite me on your program, get ready for my butt to take up the whole thing. Right.
I feel like some random porno music just start playing right now after you spoke like that.
No, Cyril, you can be my wingman anytime.
All right, and on that bombshell. Okay, I've just got mine to add, and then we should have everything filled in.
God, it's loading in so slow.
What is loading in so slow?
Like, when apparently every time you add a new one on the Brony Show, it's like super slow.
Well, the reason why that is
Stream lag.
I'm using studio mode, so I'm adding them on the other side, and then I'll just bring it all over when it's done.
Oh, okay, that's what you're doing. I was like, oh, God, they're being added so slow. God, come on, Winchester, speed up your game.
Is Winchester 3 in use? No, it is not. We're gonna have my butt so much on this stream because we already have my the be right back screen is just nothing but my butt.
Isn't that what half of this fandom is into?
Apparently.
I mean, we watch it for the plot.
What?
I say what for the plot. I say what for the plot.
Oh my God, that wheeze actually hurt my throat. Yeah.
Don't hurt yourself.
Alrighty, and transition. There we go.
5 years later.
5 years later.
Mustache.
Screen transition to the next part.
These are so cute.
Ah, hot damn. We are so.
But yeah, as I was saying, so much booty. Like everybody loves drawing my OCs in that position because this is the Be Right Back stream that colded for me.
Dude, you just got a nice plot. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
I know, I'm so chilly, man.
But seriously, look at that. That's what colded.
Like, you got a plot out to next week, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah, man. You're getting all the action.
I like CMC's floopy mustache.
Yeah.
Like I'm a pony dying of thirst, and I'm watching you drown.
And are we the first stream to have 2 zebras on at the same time?
Hey, diversity.
Well, one's white with black stripes, and the other one's black with white stripes.
What are you trying to imply?
For once, that's true.
White stripes represent.
Oh, come on. How you gonna do that to me?
I think the white stripes just really likes indie rock.
Oh.
How you gonna do that to me, your own child? That is black with white stripes.
Oh, and on that sickest burn of the 20th century.
Oh, is there Rosie back?
Yeah, no kidding.
Are you back so your laptop won't crash again?
Yes.
Okay.
They think.
It's contagious.
Oh God, everybody's
The
sick.
adorableness is contagious?
No, it's sneezes.
So anyways, without further ado, I think we have the entire script filled in. Cyril, do you know what you're doing as narrator?
I read the things that aren't characters.
That, and also you read off the character list at the beginning as well.
Oh, well.
And
then
the-
You have to go now?
And the title of the fanfic.
So much work, I know.
God dang it. All right. I mean, Celestia, dang it. No,
And- No, you mean Luna, dang it, because she's the rightful ruler.
I mean,
Bullshit.
yeah, whatever. So, don't lampoon my joke, brother. All right, so tonight we are reading.
Wait, okay. Well, one second before you start in really quick. Everybody remember the general rules of reading. Everybody mute your mics when you're not reading. And remember to unmute them when your line comes. So, yes, thank you very much. And
Wait, I'm supposed to unmute 5 minutes later?
Sure. And so yes, without further ado, is everybody ready?
Ready.
Ready.
You're supposed to have your mics muted. And Cyril, take it away.
Good evening. Welcome to Winchester Wednesdays. We are continuing to read It Takes a Village by Determined Fid. Whatever. Our cast this evening is being narrated by me, Cyril the Wolf, Harold, Orange Shirt Guy, and Just Cause, also Orange Shirt Guy. Reading these out of order because that's easier for me. Princess Celestia, Spike, Trixie are all being played by Double R Forrest. Winchester is taking the role of Best Princess Luna and Falling Knight. We also have with us this evening, returning after a long hiatus, Rosie as Pinkie Pie and Applejack, and Rarity, the trifecta. We also have CMC, also known as Matt, as Twilight Sparkle. Marzipans is taking Mayor and Fluttershy this evening. Zora is reading as Rainbow Dash and Sapphire Shores. And Zeta is Snips and Snails. And there's also a couple others in here, but we'll get to them later. That's everybody, right? No, I guess Sora is also reading as Apple Bloom. All right, well, that was cool. Gosh, there's a lot of characters in this fan fiction. But without further ado, playing it straight. It Takes a Village by Determined Fid, Chapter 13. A silvery fanfare abruptly split the air, and Spike jerked away from Twilight in surprise. In the doorway appeared the slim, willowy figures of the two heavenly princesses side by side, their manes streaming in an otherworldly breeze. A pony with a slicked mane and a fussy mustache, standing beside the door, made an announcement.
Their Royal Majesties, the Goddess of Day and Night, Princesses Celestia and Luna.
The princesses began a slow, poised walk to the bathroom, their heads nodding graciously to the bowing and curtsying guests. Celestia looked a little tired of all the formalities, though her usual benevolent smile was still firmly in place. Luna looked as distant as the moon, her face impassive and her head held high.
Please, my friends, no need to stand on ceremony.
She clapped her hooves, and the orchestra obediently began a waltz. Ponies tentatively straightened up from their bows and edged back to the dance floor. A light chatter resumed. Luna made a beeline directly for Spike, nodding elegantly to the ponies that greeted her on the way.
I saw the ambassador. I don't think you have a gift for diplomatic speech, Spike. I have never seen a wyvern so furious.
He smiled sheepishly.
He didn't much like what I had to say.
Her lips quirked.
That was obvious.
He was fantastic. He sure did show that slinky little guy what for.
It was very dragony around here for a while.
Twilight's hoof was still resting comfortingly on Spike's face.
I did try to explain.
Spike attempted to defend himself, but was weak, and he knew it. He wrinkled his snout.
Well, I didn't really try to make him feel better about it, I suppose.
There was a distinct lack of easing the angry ambassador going on.
Twilight agreed, but as she spoke, her hoof absently stroked his cheek. The princess's eyes sparkled with mirth as she spoke.
I might have expected your pride would take a hoof. You may be a very different sort of dragon, but you are still a dragon.
No, really?
He then realized with a start that he had been flippant at the princess and sucked in a breath.
Did you not hear my sister? No need to stand on ceremony, especially with you, my friend.
Manners, mister.
He gave them all a crooked, rueful smile.
Sorry. Guess I'm just not in the greatest of moods right now.
We understand, Spike.
Well, the night's not over yet.
Pinky wolfed down a few more of the dainty nibbles from the platter.
Nom, 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 Oh, yeah, so good.
She then up straight as a ruler, her blue eyes bright.
It's still gonna be Spike's best night ever. So what if there's ghouly gawkers, angry ambassadors, and posh ponies who dance with Rarity? We gotta get this party happening.
Twilight froze.
Pinky, last time...
Pinky blew a disdainful raspberry before stooping to peck up a few more canapes.
Oomph.
She swallowed and popped back upright.
Later, I'm off to find Rainbow Dash. Now there's a pony who knows. Now that's a pony who knows how to party.
She was gone in a flurry of clouds. Crumbs.
So is she always...
Yes.
Yes.
I see. Laughter suits her.
That's our Pinkie Pie.
Twilight nodded, her face alight with fond amusement. Luna gazed in the direction of the party pony that disappeared for another moment, her face bemused, before shaking herself lightly and turning back to Spike.
It seems that Celestia's other purpose in inviting you has been well and truly achieved. You have been meeting very important ponies all night. I believe many have spoken to us about you, and their reported favorable impressions.
Oh, good. There were so many, I was nervous I'd forgotten some pony's name or something. That would have been embarrassing.
They are very taken with your friends' outfits as well.
That I know. They look great, huh?
Her flawless face creased with concern.
Something is wrong.
Spike shuffled a little.
No, just something ending.
Luna gave him a long, searching look before nodding.
Endings can also be beginnings, my friend. I am a testament to that.
Twilight's hoofs twitched on his face as her head spun toward the slender goddess. She stared at her before speaking tentatively.
Princess?
Twilight, you're sort of smooching my face.
Twilight glanced back at him to see his cheek squashed beneath her hoof. She jerked it away with a self-conscious little laugh.
Sorry.
Spike rubbed at his cheek a little with the back of one forepaw.
So what else did all those posh ponies say?
They are curious, as you might expect. Several have been back and forth from the ballroom all night. Some even went so far as to ask for some sort of a demonstration.
From me?
I did not think it would be suitable. It is a ball, after all. Perhaps in the gardens later.
I don't know. Lots of ponies get a bit freaked out by my fire.
I don't think the animals would like it either.
Luna's head inclined politely.
Then we shall not suggest it. No doubt our sister would announce it immediately to increase our little pony's acceptance of you.
Luna? You're using the royal we again.
Oh.
The princess rolled her eyes.
All those guests, greeting each one with full ceremonial protocol, does tend to get repetitive.
I remember.
So what else has been happening in Ponyville since I last saw you?
Luna's horn flared, and a small hors d'oeuvre levitated toward her. Spike hummed a little in thought.
Well, you know about... This morning, Razorfang decided it would be a great idea to stomp on over to Ponyville. Still haven't figured out why.
The whole of Ponyville saw you stand up to Spike.
They saw me yell at him. A lot. Him being there just got me so mad. So soon after the harpoon, I guess I just sort of snapped. A little bit. Snapette? Snapino?
He was trespassing, was he not?
Yep, blatantly. Who knows? Maybe he was just trying to make me feel the way he did when I was a baby and ate his gems. Like I haven't gotten the point already. Anyway, Fluttershy made him shut up long enough to listen.
Luna looked with astonishment at the meek yellow Pegasus, who ducked behind her mane at the sudden attention.
He has
Oh, I got another letter from Just 2. He might have found out something about Huffy. She was the assistant to the great and powerful Trixie. He's in the Rumbly Bushlands right now, looking for her. If I don't hear him from tomorrow, I have to inform every pony of where he's gone.
Another examination dragon. Another pony-raised dragon living in Equestria.
Right. But Trixie's no Twilight.
Spike.
I found him!
Pixie came bouncing towards them, the many frills and ruffles of her dress flopping about comically. She gave them all a bright smile before looking back over her shoulder. Rainbow Dash and Applejack were walking somewhat unsteadily behind her, and Applejack had a hoof over Rainbow's shoulder as she lurched a little unevenly.
Is Applejack drunk?
No, don't be silly. Of course she's not drunk. She's plastered. Not.
Applejack's green eyes focused and unfocused. Then she frowned, swaying, and turned to Dash.
Oh, you what? Them fancy drinks don't even touch the sides. Eat a batch on Granny's shoulder cider.
Your granny doesn't make cider. Calling it cider's an insult. I have perfectly drinkable ciders anywhere.
You insult my granny?
Applejack glared at Rainbow Dash's ear.
I'm just saying, I like a drink that don't evaporate, turn into fumes in my mouth.
Dash patted Applejack's shining green-clad back.
You two really are really out of it, aren't you?
Twilight's face was stern, but her eyes danced with laughter. Applejack thrust out her jaw pugnaciously.
Who says I'm as raring to go as I ever was? You just come over here and say that, you two wobbly Twilights.
I'm not the one wobbling.
Well, at least there's only one of me.
Applejack leaned more heavily around Dash's neck.
Hey, Applejack, check out the princess's face!
Applejack raised her head groggily before she started chuckling as well.
Hoo-hoo-wee! That's the funniest thing I ever did see.
She lurched over to Luna and hooking her other hoof over the alicorn's slender neck.
You're all right. You know that, princess. You sure do pull the funniest faces. Sort of wish you'd stick with just one head, though. It's making me queasy.
Rainbow Dash had ended up before Spike when Applejack yanked her over to the princess. She peered at one face and then the next.
How come you guys look all down? You down the dumps. What happened? Where's Rarity?
Oh, I saw her dancing with 3 fancy city ponies. There were 3 or 2, so no pony got left out. I think that's real nice, don't you?
Rainbow Dash evidently wasn't quite as incapacitated as Applejack because she gave Spike a piercing look.
That's so.
Spike swallowed before setting his jaw.
It's fine, Rainbow Dash. She's happy.
Her fuchsia eyes suddenly brimmed, and she flung herself against him, her wings flopping about drunkenly.
He's so grown up.
She yanked his head down to give it a fierce headbutt. Stars rotated before his eyes.
You are. You're so awesome. It totally, completely, and totally boggles my mind, you know? You boggle. Best dragon ever. You are the best dragon ever.
She bawled, her hoof hooking around his neck. He stood a little to brace her when she suddenly slumped, dangling from his neck like a colorful tie.
You're the best.
maybe we should think about calling it a...
Dash continued to blubber proudly over Spike, and Applejack began to nod onto the princess's shoulder.
A bit of help?
Seconded.
Luna's face a conflicting mixture of perturbed, alarmed, and amused.
Here, Rainbow Dash, I think I should get you some water.
Water!
The four-leg Dash had hooked around his neck suddenly gave way. She landed in a messy pile at his feet.
Whoops.
That roused Applejack. She jerked away from Luna's shoulder with a start and a grunt before reeling away.
Sorry about that. Hey, what are you doing on the floor, Rainbow Dash?
Sitting.
Dash grinned, and Applejack threw her head back and laughed as well, though this upset her balance and sent her careening across the marble. Spike carefully and slowly halted her stumbling with a forepaw, and she rocked back to sit heavily next to Dash. The pair of inebriated ponies giggled and guffawed nonsensically, and Spike couldn't help but chuckle at the picture they made.
Don't encourage.
Jeez, lighten up, egghead.
No pony better be sick on the ride home, or I'm making you walk.
I ain't gonna be sick. This takes a lot more to get me tipsy. I'm as fresh as a ducky. Daisy. I said that the first time.
Sure you did.
Twilight raised an eyebrow, then she turned to Luna.
I'm sorry for my friends.
I ain't. I got the best friends in the whole equestrian.
Applejack hugged Rainbow Dash around the neck tightly.
Air.
It's quite all right, Twilight Sparkle. It is a party after all. At least there are 2 ponies here that are enjoying themselves.
Pinky rolled her eyes.
You said it.
Can't believe they both got drunk.
Hey!
Rainbow Dash shook her hoof at Twilight with the solemn seriousness of the completely tanked.
Hey! If I wasn't drunk, hey, listen, are you listening to me? Are you looking at me? If I wasn't drunk, then I totally would have wasted all that Sunny Duck wine.
That'd be a real damn shame.
Applejack nodded owlishly. Spike tried valiantly to hide his chortles, but he was fighting a losing battle. Eventually, they burst out of him in a bark of laughter, a plume of smoke rising above him as he laughed uproariously at them.
You guys are priceless. You know that?
Pinky also began to laugh at them, doubling over and leaning against Spike.
Oh, I know! We've got Rainbow Splash!
Apple tanked.
Rainbow Sloshed!
Dash of spirits.
Applejack!
Spike blinked and then shrugged.
I got nothing.
Appletini works again.
I was trying for some new material.
I think it's time to go home. I'll go tell Rick.
Could you please thank your sister for inviting us?
Luna nodded.
I will see you in a few days, Spike. We will both be there.
Spike swallowed before nodding back.
Right. Okay. See you then.
Luna gently pushed her head under his, the touch of her cool, strange mane making him shiver once more.
Be strong and stay safe.
She bowed her head to Pinky, Fluttershy, and Twilight, quirking her lips at the 2 ponies now singing off-key from the floor, and then walking away into the crowd.
See you later, alligator!
Dash then joined Applejack in another loud, slurred chorus of "Full of Fire."
Okay, now I know we've got to get out of here.
I'll be back in a moment. Fluttershy, you could get some water into these two hay brains.
Who are you calling hay brains?
Applejack nudged her.
RD, stick with it. You're making me do all the singing here.
Oh, right.
Dash raised her voice once more. Spike cringed as they warbled.
These scales, there's beating only for home, and at the end of the day, I don't want to be alone. And I'm telling you the truth, I'm not so different from you. Why can't you hear me say I'm full of fire today?
Pinky, Fluttershy.
Pinky snickered, passing water to Fluttershy.
Mouth's open, it's easier to get the water in.
I'll sit on you.
Spike threatened, but Pinky just laughed some more. Dash swallowed a round of mouthful of water hurriedly before bellowing.
Soaring above my sorrows, flying on my wings of hope, I'll never give up the battle, 'cause I'm
Oh, Lord.
Applejack raised her voice as well on the long last high note, and the two of them tipped their heads back to holler at the ceiling. Several of the fancy ponies nearby sniffed in disapproval before moving away, their heads held high.
How can you go on denying me?
I'm just like you. Oh, can't you see?
Why can't you hear me say?
Sucking in a huge breath, they held the ending of the ceiling once more.
I'm full of fire to stay.
They're so drunk that they broke the fourth wall. In other news, Spike sighed in relief as the stupid song ended. Fluttershy patted his paw comfortingly, though he was biting rather hard down on her lip. Pinky was unabashedly in hysterics, the hoof holding water for Rainbow shaking with the force of her laughter, her hind hooves stamping in glee.
Encore!
You dare.
I do say it is lovely to hear some pony who appreciates my work.
Spike raised his eyes with a certain dread to see none other than Sapphire Shores, fantastically made up and dressed in a risque number, bedecked with feathers, her slanted golden eyes lingering over the two inebriated ponies curiously.
Now what is this fabulous material their gowns are made of?
She stopped as she spotted Spike's claw between the two singers, and her gaze traveled up and up until she was looking into his face.
Well then, heard you were here, but oh, you know how it is? Oh, you know how it is. You get to sign an autographs and suddenly poof, your whole night's a write-off. So many fans, so little time.
Spike sat back down, wishing the roof would cave in or the floor open up.
I guess.
Sapphire beamed.
Darling, you have been such an inspiration to me.
She sashayed up to him and fluttered her glitter-encrusted eyelashes.
So, I hear.
Spike leaned away from the deadly eyelashes. Sapphire's Shores gave him a sultry smile.
I hope you enjoyed my little, homage.
She tilted her head to the most attractive and photogenic angle.
Everyone else has, you know. And, oh, it has gone double platinum in no time flat. C'est essentiel. Or what, baby?
Spike's not a baby.
Hey, you got yourself an admirer, huh? You work fast, kid.
Sapphire nudged Spike brazenly and winked.
Pinky's a friend.
Uh-huh, that's great. I hear you. So anyway, you gotta tell me.
She leaned close to Spike and dropped her voice to a dramatic whisper.
Who designed these amazing outfits? These are your scales, right? Because they'd be so perfect for my costumes on my next upcoming Sapphire on Fire Equestria tour. There's a lot of money for that pony right now.
She paused and slowly smiled.
Oh, or a dragon.
Rarity made them.
Fluttershy was trying to get Applejack to drink some water.
Rarity of Carousel Boutique, huh?
Sapphire barely glanced at Fluttershy, instead giving Spike an arch look.
I did read something in the clothes horse about her and her dragon skin.
She's getting my old scales.
Spike was beginning to get annoyed with this pushy, flamboyant pony.
You can speak to her about it. She'll be getting them next time I shed too. That'll be next winter-ish.
Darling, that is simply too far away. My tour starts in 2 weeks. I can't possibly wait that long. No, I'll have to offer for you.
She glanced down at the lolling Rainbow Dash and Applejack, and her eyebrow twitched.
Your friends' dresses. Surely selling them to me for such a fabulous use is better than letting them hang in some old closet in What'sville.
Ponyville.
Ponyville.
Gesundheit.
Mine's not for sale.
Spike. Pinky spoke with an uncharacteristic seriousness, her brows in a straight line across her eyes.
I mean, I'd rather not.
Some pony. Ooh.
Some pony wanting our gala dresses.
Rainbow Dash looked around blearily before spotting Sapphire's shores.
Hey, look, AJ, it's Sapphire Shirley.
Applejack snorted and rolled over.
It's Shores, you sail of Philly.
Oops, sorry, Miss Shirley.
Shores.
That's what I said. Your ears are drunk.
My ears ain't drunker than your mouth.
Wait, what does she want again?
Rainbow Dash peered back at Spike and the others, who were staring a little hopelessly at the train wreck that was a drunken Applejack and Rainbow Dash in front of an Equestria-renowned pop star.
She wants to buy your gala dress. She wants to buy them all.
Applejack beamed up at the fancy Canterlot pop star.
Well, Missy, that's a mighty fine offer, and once upon a time, might even have taken up on it. But this here shiny green suit is as special to me as the very first dress Rarity made me. And so I'm afraid I have to say no deal.
I'll make it worth your while.
Still no deal. Now quit wavering your money about. It ain't gonna do no good. This suit's staying with me.
Sapphire frowned in surprise and turned hopefully to Rainbow Dash.
How about you?
Nope, I'm not giving up my dragon scales either.
Dash declared with the solemn emphasis of the very drunk.
These were special dresses. These are my friend's scales, sewn by my friend into a dress for me, who just so happens to be their friend. And the only way you're getting them is out of my cold, dead hooves, so there, lady.
Rainbow Dash!
Rarity's shocked and appalled voice came from behind them.
Did I say something wrong?
Dash swung her head this way and that, searching for Rarity, her expression thoroughly puzzled.
You came on a bit strong there.
Well, I'm not gonna sell your scales.
Gathered that.
A little smile creeped across her face. He honestly hadn't realized that their dresses meant that much to his friends, and Rainbow Dash's blunt explanation had warmed him to the core. It was so like her to defend him, even when he didn't need it. Drunk or not, she was the most loyal friend a dragon could ask for.
I think half the ballroom gathered that.
Twilight appeared behind the horrified Rarity, rubbing her forehead.
What's been happening this time?
That, Twilight, is Sapphire Shores, the pony of Pop, and I believe that ruffian Rainbow Dash has just insulted her.
Miss Rarity, a pleasure as always. And no, there's no harm done. I was just asking whether if I could buy your friend's remarkable ensemble for my upcoming Sapphire on Fire equestrian tour. She doesn't seem all that keen on the idea, but maybe you can help me whip up 6 outfits just as glamtastic. Oh, these dragon scales, of course.
Oh. I'm afraid that there's very little of the scales left for this year, and the only purple ones at that. I could probably only get one outfit of it, and even then, the scales would be more in the nature of an accent rather than the main features, as with ours.
Darling, we're ponies of the world here. You're a business pony, and I'm doing business. Surely you can see to selling me your dresses, at least. That purple dazzler would be just fine for the big number, and this big guy here.
She gave Spike an ingratiating look. Rarity set her mouth, and Spike could almost see the bit signs flaming in her eyes.
Mine's not for sale either.
Sapphire gaped at Rarity for a moment before turning to Twilight, eyes imploring.
You think I'd sell my brother's scales?
You ponies do not know how this is meant to go. I am Sapphire Shores, the pony of Pop. I'll make you famous.
I don't need to be. I'm a librarian.
Hey, I'm famous.
So am I. And I am afraid, Miss Shores, that the material in question is seasonal stock and very limited. I can make you the outfit I described before, a genuine haute couture carousel boutique gown of the very finest quality, fit and fashion. It'll be decorated with spiked scales, but not encrusted. As for buying ours, well, these dresses are too important for each of us to become mere costumes.
Sapphire looked from one to the next, her eyes wide with indignation.
Well.
Turning on her heels, she sashayed haughtily away.
Oh, there goes a whole month's profits.
She'll come to the boutique. She's got that song about Spike, after all. Even with an outfit with some scales on it would be better than one with none.
I can't believe you guys all told her no.
Pinky hauled Rainbow Dash to her feet.
Of course we did, silly Billy Spikeface. These are only the bestest and most importantest dresses that Rady's ever made for us.
The others nodded, and he smiled.
I don't know what to say, guys. It means so much that you wore my scales in the first place. And now this?
Don't say anything, Sugar Cube. Tain't nothing you should say, anyhow.
As Fluttershy propped Applejack onto her hooves, Spike heaved a huge breath and released it before turning to Rarity.
I hope you had fun out there.
She smoothed a hoof over her coiffure, mussed from the dancing.
It went
Satisfactorily.
She then giggled lightheadedly, her hooves doing an excited little trot on the spot.
He's coming to see me this week in Ponyville.
He swallowed again, and his heart unclenched.
Wow, nice one, Rarity.
Every pony either congratulated Rarity or shot him worried sidelong looks.
It's just a date.
Rarity's got a cold friend.
Spike sang out mockingly, ignoring the little lurch inside. It would fade.
Oh, stop.
So, if he's not good to you, you know to tell me, right? I'll sort him out.
Twilight concealed a smile.
Dragon.
She answered to Rarity's staggered expression.
I see. Is this the possessiveness you were warning me about, Twilight?
No, this is your good friend speaking. You'll know when it's your dragon speaking.
It's late and every pony's beginning to leave.
Spike rubbed a forepaw over his face.
Right, that's it. The Spike Express is leaving for Ponyville in 10 minutes. Let's get outside.
He stood once more, leaning back on his heels and stretching his legs out before beginning a slow, careful walk across the ballroom floor. Luckily, he was hard to miss, and every pony mostly got out of his way, though a fairly inebriated Soren had to be tapped on the shoulder twice before he moved.
Well, it wasn't the disaster that last time was.
Fluttershy spoke with relief as they entered the nearly deserted great entrance hall, Applejack's hoofs slung over her shoulder.
That's debatable.
Twilight held Pinky with the lolling Rainbow Dash.
These two sure whipped themselves out.
You should really lighten up.
Dash swung her head to Twilight's side, and almost knocking their skulls together.
Sure. Come on, Rainbow Dash. I'm sure you'll be after a... I'm sure you'll be after a hangover cure in the morning. So come by the library, right? Did you hear that, Applejack?
What?
Applejack's head jerked up from the dropping against her chest.
Oh, right. Library.
Her head dropped back down with a thump.
I see you ponies had a fine time.
Captain Falling Knight stepped forward, followed by his platoon.
It was mixed.
We'll see you, homeboy. You didn't drink, did you? Can't abide drunk flyers.
I'm underage, Captain.
Doesn't answer the question.
Spike rolled his eyes as they moved into the still, cold night.
No, I didn't.
Gotta check. Those are the rules. Well, get that harness on and let's get going.
Yeah, wait.
Twilight levitated the harness to his back. Spike stood obediently still as it settled around him, the buckles and straps tightening and cinching.
Me neither.
He blinked up at the brightly lit castle before turning his face resolutely for home. Who's Just Cause?
Spike, we were right. It's Huffy. And leave the Brumby bushlands for a very... I will arrive in Ponyville at 3. Has agreed to fly us through reluctantly, and I can certain, I hope you can arrange, isn't very trusting of Pony. I am cautiously optimistic that you can change her opinion. See you tomorrow, or today. Just.
What do you mean?
Just what I said. No pony sent this note to you, Spike. This was sent by another dragon.
That's just hoof riding. Why is it all burnt up? I don't burn them up when I send them.
Assuming it was Huffy who sent this to you, I expect she's a little out of practice.
Twilight handed him back the charred and barely legible letter.
Have you organized anything yet?
Spike frowned at the letter.
No, not yet. So I'm right about what it says? Just as bringing Huffy here?
Are you going to go all territorial on her?
Twilight levitated her coffee and took a sip. He shrugged.
I don't know. I might not be able to help it, you guys.
Right. If the very first dragon she meets tries to chase her away, I'm sure we'll have no chance in convincing her to rejoin Equestria.
I'll do my best, but if she hurts any pony, all bets are off.
I doubt she will.
Twilight leaned back against the library's front door, black rings of exhaustion under her eyes and her disheveled mane coming out of last night's elegant knot in wisps.
She was a baby dragon amongst ponies, just like you.
Yeah, but her Twilight Sparkle was tricksy. I don't think that made her all that well-disposed towards pony kind.
Just wouldn't bring her here if she was going to hurt anybody. Clearly says that she doesn't trust us and doesn't want to be away from the Brumby bushlands for very long. But she's coming anyway.
It's going to be weird. Another dragon that isn't Razorfang around. I sure hope she's not as short-tempered as he is.
Didn't just say she was impatient?
So she'll be around to watch the challenge, I guess.
Twilight was still for a long moment before her hoof crept over to touch him softly on the paw.
I guess she will.
He glanced down at her hoof, seeing it shake a little. Then he raised his head and nudged her with his snout very, very carefully.
I had a good time last night.
She smiled a little sadly.
I'm glad. You know, I'm very proud of you, Spike.
You said?
You were such a grown-up last night. What with the ambassador and the situation with Rarity and Fancy Pants, and all those posh ponies, and even Sapphire Shores. I was sure you'd take her... take her to task for that song, but you just let it slide.
He shrugged one shoulder awkwardly.
It's not worth making a scene about. Rainbow Dash and Applejack took care of that for us.
I wonder what time they'll wake up. I have the spell ready for when they come by, if they come by. I bet Applejack doesn't remember a thing.
At least Snow Pony was sick on the way home.
But Rainbow Dash kept sliding out of her seat. I had to hold her there with magic in the end.
I didn't notice that. I was too busy concentrating on getting home.
She rolled her eyes.
You were as single-minded as a buzzsaw. I think you could have flown through a mountain and not have noticed.
Oh, I'd have noticed that.
She giggled a little before taking another sip of her coffee and looking up at him pensively.
Are you going to write to Trixie?
He cringed and then nodded.
I hope she's like her letter and not like she was before.
Give her a chance.
I am.
Did you say Trixie?
Spike and Twilight turned in surprise to see Snips bouncing excitedly next to his slow friend, Snails, his ginger mane as spiky and his nose as upturned as ever. The small teen had become a small stallion, but his boundless enthusiasm was completely unchanged. By contrast, Snails had shot up like a well-watered weed, losing most of his lankiness and putting on quite a bit of bulk as he reached adulthood. Now he was a gentle giant amongst Ponyville's stallions. One thing that hadn't differed, however, was his intellect. He was still the last pony in Equestria to understand a punchline.
Oh no, those two.
Those two.
Be nice, Spike. That's right, we have some important news for Trixie. She may decide to visit Ponyville.
Should we put her up in the library?
She might have her wagon with when we come to, okay?
Wow, the great and powerful Trixie! It's been years and years and years! I can't wait to see what cool magic tricks she's got this time!
Yay, cool magic tricks!
Snails had an amiable grin plastered on his brown, freckled face.
I bet she's got even more awesome fireworks and fancy rope tricks. I bet there's Catherine wheels and spinning whiz bangs and... Wait, Snails, you're thinking what I'm thinking? Why do they call it disgruntled when you can't get gruntled? Yeah, what? No!
Snips gave his big, slow friend an exasperated look.
I reckon we should throw a big welcome back GNPT party celebration extravaganza, that'd be.
He stopped when he caught Twilight's sardonic expression.
Maybe that's not such a good idea.
I don't think any pony in Ponyville would be interested after the whole Ursa Minor incident. And I'm willing to bet that's the last thing Trixie herself will want. She's going to have her mind on, bigger things.
Bigger things?
Snips echoed in awe before beginning to jump up and down excitedly.
Like bigger magic things? Oh, wow!
Like dragon things. Seriously, guys, didn't you learn anything from that whole mess?
Snips shrank back a little, his dusty blue face darkening.
Sure we did. We learned that Ursa Minors are super scary and you shouldn't go waking them up.
Twilight tapped a hoof impatiently. Snails blinked a little before adding humbly.
Oh, we shouldn't believe what every pony says or go taking things like that into our own hooves ever again.
Just you remember that, guys.
Oh, hey Spike. So, how you gonna fight that dragon? Oh yeah, I've been wondering that too. Are you gonna swoop around him and get him all dizzy? Maybe Zaplowy! Go all ninja on him, or rain fiery death from above? Fiery death from above.
Spike glanced sidelong at Twilight, whose hoof had once more reached out to touch his paw.
I haven't figured it out yet. But I will.
He watched Twilight's face. She showed no change of expression, though her hoof trembled in his forepaw slightly.
You'd better shake a hoof, Spike. You ain't got much time to think up an awesome way to defeat that dragon. The early bird catches the worm. That's what my mama says, and she's right. I seen them birds catching worms, and they're always earlier than them little birds, missing out, sometimes by only a few seconds.
Thanks for that, Snails.
No problem at all for my good friend who is a big dragon.
He beamed, displaying the gap between his front teeth.
We're making flags because we know you'll come up with something, not something boring, but something cool, something amazing, because you're like the best Ponyville dragon ever.
I'm the only Ponyville dragon ever.
Twilight hid a snort behind her coffee cup. Snips ignored Spike's words.
You're going to vanquish that dragon so hard, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, vanquish the dragon.
Thanks, guys.
Spike wondered whether these two really understood the situation at all.
So that was a no on the GNPT party, wasn't it?
Twilight tipped her head, giving him a flat stare.
Right. So that's a no. Come on, Snips. We gotta get going. Barbershops don't open themselves, though it'd be like totally majorly awesome if they did. Right, okay, see you later, guys.
See you.
Spike shook his head.
Those two.
Are you sure you want them as your ponies?
Yeah, they're mine. Even if I sometimes want to knock their heads together.
There's an interesting idea.
Catching Spike's look, she laughed.
Only kidding.
Dear Trixie, Justice found Huffy. His letter is a little bit burned up, but from what we can gather, every pony's fine. Huffy's coming to visit me in Ponyville this afternoon. She'll be here from 3. Sincerely, Spike. Dear Spike, I'll be there. Thank you so much. Trixie.
Every pony, calm down. This dragon has been isolated for a long time, and is very scared of pony kind. So if you don't have business here today, please take your gawking elsewhere.
Bit rude.
You're the one who insisted that we shouldn't crowd her.
I suppose. What's the time?
Just on 3. Is every pony ready?
There was a small group gathered in Ponyville Square outside the library. All 6 of Spike's friends were there, a couple looking decidedly seedy, even after Twilight's magical hangover cure. Plus, Big Macintosh, Apple Bloom, Scooty-Loo, Sweetie Belle, Mare, and Zecora. A barrel of water and a cart full of apples sat ready and waiting to welcome the dragoness of the Brumbly Bushlands. The last of the gawkers quailed under the mayor's stern look and scurried off. Spike could feel strange butterflies hopping about in his stomach. He was about to meet another dragon just like him, one with little to no understanding of their own hereditary customs and immersed in equestrian culture.
Do I look okay?
You look fine. You're still very smart from last night.
Please don't mention last night.
Spike smiled fleetingly at that, before a shadow crossed over their faces. Nervously, he tipped his head back to behold a purple and white dragon circling the square. Her wings held out gracefully as she banked and turned. His first thought was, she's so big. The second was, holy guacamole, she sure can fly. Huffy was approximately 6 years older than Spike himself, and had quite obviously begun her second great growth spurt. She was maybe a head and a neck taller than he was, and her tail was far more snake-like, curling delicately through the air with liquid grace. Her wings were edged in the same shimmering white scales that adorned her belly, and the fins either side of her head were broader and more lace-like than his, almost like a pair of glittering white fans. The purple on her body wasn't quite the same as his. He was definitely darker, while she was more of a pale mauve. He gaped a little as she swooped in to land, her long neck outstretched and her hind claws extended. She looked around at the small assembly with clear apprehension, her face filled with fear. Just and 2 other ponies, all with packs strapped to their backs, slid down from Huffy's back. Just looked careworn and dirty, his white coat streaked with grass stains and stuck all over with burrs.
Spike?
Hi there, Jess.
Spike was still staring at the dragon before him. She was eyeing each pony anxiously before her gaze traveled back to Spike.
This is Huffy.
Spike simply stared at her.
He's something.
Spike gaped some more. She was...
Spike!
Twilight nudged him sharply, and he snapped out of it, his eyes blinking rapidly and his breath returning in a gush of smoke. He stepped forward, an absurd mixture of shyness and exhilaration baffling in his mind.
Hi, Huffy.
Huge black-lashed Cherie's eyes locked onto him.
You're Spike.
Oddly, her tone was just as shaky. He nodded awkwardly.
That's me. Have a good flight?
It was okay.
Her voice was light and sweet. For all that, she was bigger than him.
That's,
He searched his mind desperately. It stubbornly refused to help him.
Well.
She shuffled her claws nervously.
Thanks for...
She began and stopped.
Apples!
Spike had to physically restrain himself from smacking his face with a paw. Idiot!
I mean, we got you some apples and some water. If you're hungry or thirsty, which, you know, it's a long flight.
That'd be nice.
Her gaze dropped to her feet. Spike wrestled with the numbing weirdness of the moment. He was speaking to some dragon just like him. Then he registered the slight trembling of her lip. She must be so scared, he realized with a rush of sympathy. He must be so afraid, but here she is anyway. He shook himself sharply and then squared his shoulders, lifting his head.
So, anyway, I'm another dragon raised by ponies.
He took another step forward before holding out his paw.
And Huffy, it is so good to meet you.
She looked a little stricken and a lot confused before she drew in a harsh gasp of pure distress and stepped forward as well, grabbing blindly for his forepaw and holding on tightly.
I never thought I'd meet another dragon, not one like me.
Her larger paw engulfing his, and her white throat convulsed as she swallowed.
I thought I'd be alone forever and ever.
She continued in a rush, as though her words had built up over years and were now exploding out of her.
I thought that I was the last one, the last examination dragon, and nobody would ever understand me, and I'd have to stay hidden alone in my brumbly bushlands always. I haven't spoken to any pony in years.
Her paw was dry and smooth and warm to the touch. Spike sat back on his haunches and wrapped another paw as far around hers as possible. Spike. It's okay. Shh, Huffy, it's all right. You're not alone. I am the last examination dragon. I'm just like you, Huffy. We're not alone. Everything's okay now. She sniffed, her Cherie's eyes beginning to teem with tears.
I never thought.
Her long, snake-like neck wrapped around him tightly, her other forepaw hooking over his shoulder to hold him close. Spike froze in shock before tentatively shaking his own neck as far around her as he could. It wasn't easy, but it was possible. He kept one claw on her in hers, but slipped the other foreleg around her, stroking her shoulder comfortingly. It was incredibly strange to touch another dragon. He'd never touched another dragon, not in his whole life. She radiated the same heat that he did. Her scales, the same hard, smooth place. Her limbs, the same mixture of ropey tendon and flat flight muscle. Even her boiling tears, smoking down her muzzle to steam on the earth, were the same. It had been a long time since he had been held. He was simply too big now for any pony to fully embrace, but Huffy could hug him, could hug all of him. She was at once utterly unknown and yet strangely familiar to hold. She sniffed loudly before pulling back a little, wiping her muzzle roughly with the back of one forepaw.
Sorry.
He smiled at her, and she smiled tremulously back, her eyes glassy.
You know, somehow I thought you'd be taller.
He gave her a mock-offended look, squeezing her shoulder playfully.
Saying I'm not dragon enough for you?
So you live here?
This is my village.
She tilted her head, her eyes doubtful.
Why, I thought I'd probably go crazy if you landed in Brumbly right in front of me. Shouldn't you be angry at me for being here?
He jerked in surprise, frowning.
Actually, yeah, but I'm not. That's weird. I was furious when Razorfang came calling.
Her Cherie's eyes widened.
You know another dragon?
Yeah. Oops.
I wonder. You know, it's probably because I had something to do with bringing you here. So it's kind of like an invitation.
She stared for a moment before smiling once more.
Thanks for the invitation.
You're welcome.
He smiled back. Her gaze darted either side to the ponies surrounding them.
Don't you feel sort of big living here?
You bet, all the time. But I'm not leaving. Dragon of Ponyville Village, that's me.
I don't like being this far from Brumbly.
I
can
can
understand that. I had to go to Canterlot last night. It's not that far, but it made me feel sort of itchy. Kind of raced all the way home.
Huffy's long-lashed eyes hardened in determination.
I said I'd stay for a few days. I can do this.
If you need to dash home for a few hours, don't hesitate.
She let out a shaky breath.
Maybe I can invite you.
Hey, that'd be great.
She glanced around again at the ponies who were avidly eavesdropping on them.
The ponies. Maybe you should introduce me?
Oh.
Spike suddenly realized how rude he had been to ignore the others for all that time, but Huffy was strange, like being in a room all alone together.
Sorry, you guys. Well, here's Apple Bloom.
Howdy!
This is her brother, Big Macintosh, and this is her sister, Applejack.
Sorry for not standing up right at this minute.
This is Pinkie Pie, and she'll probably throw you a party tonight. You've been warned.
Sure am. It's gonna be a doozy.
Here's Scootaloo, Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, and this is Mayor Mare.
It's a pleasure to welcome you to Ponyville, Miss Huffy.
Huffy colored slightly, her pale mauve face darkening to purple.
Thank you.
This is Sakura, and this is Rarity and her sister Sweetie Belle.
Darling, I just adore your coloring.
The white and purple dragon smiled uncertainly at the white and purple pony.
And this is my sister, Twilight Sparkle.
Twilight looked up at the nervous dragon, smiling reassuringly.
Hi there.
Huffy gave him a startled look.
Your sister? You mean your owner?
Nope, I mean my sister.
He's my little brother. How many times must I repeat that?
That's wonderful. You're so lucky.
He glanced at Twilight and nudged her with a forepaw.
Nah, she's a lucky one.
He teased, prodding her side repeatedly.
Such a handsome and famous brother.
With such a vast ego.
She prodded him back before grabbing onto his forepaw and smirking.
Gotcha now.
Oh yes, I am at your mercy. Oh, woe is me.
Do you concede?
Her voice swooped upwards into a yelp as he raised his leg into the air with her still gripping it. Her back legs flailed wildly as they dangled in midair. With a flash, she teleported back to the ground, fixing him and the giggling Huffy with a very put-out look.
Oh, very clever.
Okay, now I believe.
Huffy chuckled, only to be interrupted by another blinding flash of light. She looked sharply at Twilight, who held up her hooves in innocence.
Wasn't me.
What was... Where is she?
A high, histrionic voice rang out, cutting through the confused crowd.
Where is my little Huffy? Where?
Huffy's pupils shrank in remembered hurt and shame.
No, not.
The powder blue unicorn had barreled into view, was far less polished than she had been the last time Spike had laid eyes on her. Gone was the purple spangled cape and hat, and her ice blue mane was mussed. Her purple eyes widened as she took in the two dragons and the larger of the two.
Huffy? You can't be my little Huffy. You are. You're my... Oh, Huffy.
Huffy was trembling again, her whole body shaking violently as she regarded the pony who had made her life such a misery that 10 years in hiding had been preferable to staying one more day.
Trixie.
Spike leaned against her, trying to impart comfort.
Just listen to her.
Why should I listen to her? She wasn't a sister like your Twilight. Oh no, I was a thing to her, just a thing.
That's not true!
Yes, it was.
Suddenly, Spike could see why Just had called her impatient at times. The great and powerful Trixie gazed at her former assistant with helpless sorrow and shock. She sat back down on her hindquarters, her head craning in to take her all in.
Look at you. You're so big. Grew up.
Yes, I did. Without you.
Trixie buried her face in her hooves.
Trixie has been...
Still talking about yourself, I see. You never change.
I did change.
Too late for me, wasn't it, my owner?
I wasn't ever your... Look, I never should have said that where you could overhear me, Huffs.
Don't call me Huffs. Perhaps you should have said it behind my back then. My servant, Huffy. My slave, Huffy. My pet.
I'm sorry.
Trixie burst out, her hoofs slamming on the ground to either side of her, lifting her tear-streaked face.
I'm so sorry. Huffy, I loved you and I never told you and I did nothing but humiliate you and I've missed you so much and I still love you. I'm sorry.
She petered out into sobs, repeating "I'm sorry" between gasping and dragging breaths. There was a long, incredulous silence. Then abruptly, Huffy lurched to one side as her legs wobbled, amazement and disbelief written all over her face. Spike lunged to brace her with his back, his smaller body propping her up.
Too many shocks.
I think you're right. Maybe we should have planned that better.
You think?
Spike tried to push the woozy Huffy upright. Trixie raised her blotched and anguished face and scrambled from the ground.
Is she alright?
She demanded of every pony and any pony, her voice still shrill with worry.
She better be alright, or the great and powerful Trixie will perform such great magic upon you that you'll have to squelch before everywhere from now on. Fix her! Make her alright! Huffy? Huffy? Huffy!
Trix, be quiet.
Huffy pushed herself off Spike. She still looked quite lightheaded. Trixie immediately shut up. Huffy seemed to be staring through her former unicorn rather than at her. The silence dragged on and on as Huffy stared at Trixie. Then she nodded, as though approving something that only she could see.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay?
She turned to him and took a deep breath.
I'll rejoin Equestria.
Trixie sobbed once in joy and made to run of her former assistant, but Huffy held up a claw.
No, just wait a moment, Trixie. I need more time. I can't forgive all in one go. I've been alone for too long. I've nursed my hurts for too long. I'm willing to try and be friends, and I guess I accept the apology, but I am never going to be your assistant again.
Trixie's eyes filled once more, and she bowed her head.
I understand.
As the unicorn turned to go, Huffy spoke softly.
I didn't stop loving you either, even when I hated you the most. You insufferable, egotistical, stuck-up, big-mouthed show pony.
The strings in the background swelled in the distance. Trixie span back around, her face slowly filling with hope. Then she ran like the wind into Huffy's open embrace, and the horns crescendoed, and the screen fades to black. Not those horns. Anyway.
Hey.
We did it. That was a marathon.
Okay, wait. Number 1, Scootaloo. Number 2, oh, I'm sorry.
Did I really do that?
Number 3, Princess Alessia and Princess Luna walk to the bathroom.
Oh my god. Like, when he said bathroom, I was just like...
Did I say bathroom?
Yeah,
you said bathroom! You said bathroom!
Howling when you said bathroom.
They walked into the ballroom. He said they walked to the bathroom.
I really should,
that That
really should
drunken
change it.
duet. That was beautiful.
That
was
was
good.
fantastic.
I didn't know what to sing. I'm like, what?
Neither did I. Don't know what they were trying to reference for the song. I was about to start singing freaking Johnny Cash up in here. I wasn't sure.
Congratulations, Zeta and Rosie. You're no longer allowed to leave. You're captive. This is your every Wednesday, no matter what.
It is official.
Sure,
There's a blood
Steel,
ritual
you
and
can
everything.
join. But yes, everybody did absolutely wonderful. Cyril, you did a very good job as replacement Larsis. Congratulations, you have
Oh, he's
also
not gonna be
been-
happy about that.
Congratulations, you have also been force signed into a contract to do the next few Wednesdays.
Wait a second, I didn't sign any contract.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you're
When?
forced. You're force signed. So
Don't worry, we already got a sample of your blood and we signed it with
Yeah, we did a
your
ritual.
signature in blood.
Sora, what don't you remember at Ciderfest when you were sitting in that chair on top of me when I went or when you felt that little pinprick?
I do not recall this at all.
See,
Oh.
I felt that pinprick. I thought it was just your penis.
That was my throat.
And we have broken the PG limit.
Oh, it's been broken long ago.
I accidentally said damn. So I was like, oh, you know,
Uh,
not that bad of a word.
Also, I'm sorry. I could not do that joke. I couldn't leave it there.
And apparently now Sora is streaming, so you can completely disregard this stream and go watch the better one over there.
Okay then.
no! Wait, how'd you know I went live?
Because my phone just dinged saying that you went live.
Oh.
Sora, shame.
And also I believe Lulz is I bring the Lulz is streaming at the moment, so you can listen to Lulz and Sora at the same time.
And I'm also streaming. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to bed.
Ed Cyril is also streaming last night.
What
It's Streaming
I'm just trying to I don't know.
Words.
You don't
Use
have
your
to
words.
watch. You don't have to watch. I'm just trying to like build up my Twitch channel
Yeah,
because it's so
Jeff,
small.
So everybody go watch Sora by penalty of death. Oh, and by the way, we got a last minute joiner just as we are leaving here. So hi, Steel.
Hi, Steel.
Steel cords, more like bronze note.
Ooh.
What?
No, actually, it'd be Iron Note.
I was gonna say bronze scales actually, because that's like like a double reference. But
Okay, bronze scales.
I'm
and-
going to start calling Scootaloo Scootaloo. Scootaloo.
I mean, it could be worse. I mean, it could be worse. We could be calling him the Brown Note.
the brown note.
Although, for some reason,
Scootaloo.
I think my thing must be lagging a bit because, Cyril, you kept on... It's seeming like you were stepping on the end of people's words for me.
See, and you were cutting out for most of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, crap.
Only like the first 3/4 of everything you were saying was
by-
actually coming through.
But by the way, people in Discord, since this only acts up in Discord, how's my mic sounding? Am I going robotic-y yet?
No, you're good.
Awesome.
No, not yet. You're good.
But yeah, that was happening, and I was just like keeping the pace the way I normally do.
Yeah.
So forgive me. I guess that just seems like stepping on. But hopefully in the stream. It
Oh
came out
God,
good.
who's the lonely soul that's watching me?
Hi.
I don't know your channel, otherwise it would be me.
It's been the same.
I don't know if I've been linked it or not.
I've linked it in the main show thing multiple times.
Hey,
Do you
Cyril.
think I've been paying attention?
What?
You sound like Aaron from Game Grumps at times, especially
God.
when he's doing the friend Aaron voice.
The friend Aaron.
Hello,
Great.
I am friend Aaron.
Oh yeah, hello, I am friend Aaron. Right.
Oh my god.
But by the way, Rosie, thank you so much. I don't think I've laughed more at anything or went back to reference anything more than I have. I fired and I missed. I fired again and I missed. There you go, popsicle.
I fired again. I missed. I got sad. I had another popsicle.
I missed.
Then I passed out. Then I wake up. Went to go to the fridge. Get another popsicle. But I missed. I grabbed the cabbage instead.
Went to put the cabbage back and I missed.
Got the popsicle.
By the way, who replaced me for that brief moment when my internet went out?
The same guy who was taking all of your lines for the next 3 minutes.
I don't know. It just literally just snapped out for like a few minutes, and I just freaked out here.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I didn't see that you had like booted from the chat. Otherwise,
Yeah, because you didn't boot from the chat till like right after, and then I was about to take it over, and then I heard Cyril doing it, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Save your throat, bro.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so thank all you guys for showing up. I think we're gonna go and probably call it quits here. So we'll start with shout outs. So last in, first out, we'll do Steel Chords, who's still silent probably. Yep, and now he's still silent, and he's saying hold up. So we're holding. We're in a holding pattern.
What should I hold on to?
Oh,
wait, nope.
Hold up.
Is it Steel Chords?
Hold up.
Gotta wait for the
Hey.
Steel, I dare you to do your entire shout outs with guitar.
All right.
Go on.
He says come back to him.
Okay, so we'll start with Zeta and Rosie then. Starting with Rosie.
Shout out to Japan PonyCon for sending me my spirit pad.
For real, that's awesome. Just got that today. But shout out for Cyril for saying the princesses went to the bathroom.
No, Scooty-Loo! Come on, Scooty-Loo!
I'm gonna be laughing until I fall asleep, and I'm just giggling to myself while I fall asleep. Like, bathroom.
And Zeta will just throw his arm over. Shut up!
Go to sleep, woman!
And Cyril has his guitar primed and ready. So since he has his guitar primed and ready, we're going to go on to Sora.
Wow.
I'm here, and I'm queer.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
No, you're not. Your screen is a board.
Alrighty. And next we'll go on to Marzi.
I want to give a shout out to Lion Brand Yarn. And
what are you knitting?
Well, I made a rainbow chain, and now I'm making a minion hat.
Oh no!
Everyone should go buy a rainbow chain or a chain from Marzi because they're actually really cool. I got to see one.
I'm only making a minion hat so I can throw it into the gift bag at work and not have to buy a gift.
Alrighty. And so yes, so next up we have Cyril the Wolf.
Go follow Cherry Quench on Twitch.
That was fresh.
Go follow what?
Cherry Quench. He plays games. He's playing Just Cause 3. This guy I've followed for a while. He doesn't have a super lot of followers, so.
Hey, Cyril, when are we going to do bass lessons?
I don't know.
Right now. I'll join in.
Bass. No, I don't know. Hit me up, man. I'd love to do him again. I don't know. I felt bad just being like, yo, Zeta, want to give me money so I can give you knowledge?
Let me save you money.
Well, you know.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah. Just text me sometime and we'll get back into it. No worries, dude. We can get back there. Do it.
Sounds good.
Do it.
Alrighty. And next on to... Have we done Sora yet?
Yes, you have.
Maybe.
Okay. I'm getting confused. There's too many people now. Next on to Double R.
Based on the observations from Sora, my shoutouts will go to Spike getting some and Trixie being Canadian fault.
Oh, did I actually kill everybody with the last thing I said? Cry.
Sorry.
No. I just typed A, getting some dragon.
Oh yeah, no, that
was perfect.
I read that and I had to like super collect myself so I could read my line and then mute immediately so I could bust my gut.
It's still not the best line we've ever read. I don't know if any of you have ever been around for the pudding.
Oh my god.
Wait, was that? Were you two a part of that?
I think Sora might have been there, but I can't remember.
Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure the best line that we've had was Dashi was devastated.
My God, Cole. There is definitely a line, it's definitely a tie between Dashi was devastated and yeah, the jam, sir. And if you don't know about either of those, you should definitely look at our past episodes that you can't see because they're all saved on my hard drive. So that means you have to come here and watch them on my computer.
That's not creepy.
Please,
please
come visit me. I'm so lonely.
Please don't break into my house and steal my hard drive.
I feel like the best time was when we weren't expecting that one scene with Vital and Octavia and their fanfiction at the end.
Oh yeah, and I have to.
Oh god.
Oh, when they were basically having sex in the beginning.
Yeah, and I was just like, what are these lines? I had to compose myself between lines. I'm like, nobody told me they were.
What am I making you read?
You all knew the stories.
I didn't pre-read that one. I should have.
We've learned our lessons now.
That was great. Oh god.
It was fun.
We need more fan fictions involving that because that was just too glorious. I could not stop laughing.
No, we need more involving jam and vanilla pudding.
Wait, when did we talk about? I don't remember this conversation at all.
There was one that Larsa suggested that we read, and it was.
Oh, was it the political one?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was the political one, and oh god, it was great. And they were trying to find a place for Twilight to stay, and it was just we need to go to her old castle, and they're looking, and it's all covered with vanilla pudding, and then the one guy just puts his face in his hoof, and it's just oh god, is the inside at least not filled with vanilla pudding? And the guard's just there wouldn't be room. The guy's just said, what do you mean there wouldn't be room? And then the guard says, the jam, sir. And it turns out Celestia and Luna just filled the whole thing with jam and covered it with.
Well, no, they were having a fight between pudding and jam.
Yeah. Anyways, getting back to what we were doing. Double R, your shout out.
I did my shoutouts.
Okay, you did.
Get with the program.
Fine, orange shirt guy, you do yours.
Oh my god.
I'm having a memory problem.
Okay, I'm choosing.
Orange,
CMC,
do your shout out to MSD Ignition now.
Shout outs to Retro Sound Radio System. For wasting $400 of my money.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Alrighty. And next on to CMC, who can also do everything else, but please try to keep it to just short show titles.
Oh, okay, is it working now?
Hey, okay, we'll do steel chords really quick. Okay, steel chords. Now that you're finally in here,
Steel chords, daddy.
Oh my god, I can't believe my phone is more reliable than my computer. Oh my god.
That's pretty bad.
That's how it is normally, but
pretty bad.
all right,
I mean,
Steel.
I kind of should have expected it, but I mean, God, it's another thing entirely when you confirm it. Oh man. Anyway. So what are we doing?
Shout out.
Shoutouts.
Bye. Bye.
All right. Shout out to Windows 10 for second now.
Oh, I'm sure Bill would love to hear that.
I don't know.
Don't you want to shout out to your mother?
Shout out to Things for doing the things.
All right.
They're not supposed to.
Specific thing I've ever heard.
And finally on to CMC, who will tell you what else is going on throughout the week, but very quick and condensed. A sentence per thing.
Explosions, the usual. Not this flash of cold that we had from 50 degrees down to 30 degrees, which is making my sinuses have fun. I wasn't even sure if I'd have Twilight voice today. So Thursdays, I think Silent does a thing. I really don't know. Fridays, we've got the Roan RPG session, which should be starting back up nicely. Saturdays, we've got Creatures Gaming Meltdown. Sundays, we've got Circuits Let's Play. Monday, we've got the Equestrian Flag Stop with Coal Dust, followed by the Brony Show itself. And ending off the night was Circuits Coffee House After Party. Tuesdays, there's nothing right now, so go make fun of someone. And then Wednesdays, you come back here and you get to make fun of these crazy faces. All these faces. That one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one.
Hey.
Not a crazy face.
I'm extremely crazy. Thank you for noticing.
He should be renamed Crazy the Wolf.
Going off the rails, crazy train.
So
You stop that.
Well, without further ado, thank you guys. It's been awesome. Loved having all you guys on. And now going back onto the next onto the next thing that I haven't watched from Cyril yet. It's been through my YouTube that I just haven't gotten caught up on.
He's above me in the voice.
And he's already changed his name to Crazy the Wolf. Perfect.
He's above me in the voice list.
So, anyways, thank you all for showing up. It's been fun. I will see you all later. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. That was creepy.
Everything's so broken, it's had enough. Why must we try to keep those vermin alive? Here's
Thank you all for showing up. This is Winchester 572 going 10-7. I'm out. Bye-bye.